I see a performer on stage, and the same is for you, when you see a performer on stage, is the union of three very, very different aspects. One is the personality of the performer, his way of thinking, what if he believes in God or not, if he's a communist or fascist, if he is a violent or not violent. So his personal aspect, which is unique and which cannot be repeated. And then you see another aspect. The other aspect is the convention, the theater or dance convention, which this performer is using. His personality is using Buto maybe, or classical ballet, or interpreting a play of Shakespeare. So the convention is fundamental in shaping also this total image and impression we have of the performer. But then there is the third aspect. And while the first aspect is relative, the second aspect also is relative because it belongs to the tradition or the convention. The third aspect is the aspect which all dancers on this planet, in all times, in all actors, in all times and in all places have been shared together, have been sharing together and still sharing. And this is something which is perceptible and is a body in life. This is what we are seeing, and we see that this body in life in this moment is looking at cameras in the corner and doing this movement as to pierce you, and so that you really feel my hand shaking your inner part. So when we work here, what are we studying? What are we experiencing? We are experiencing how this body-mind, or this pot, as Sanjukta would say, how this pot is shaped by the convention of the performance, but at the same time by temperature, a sort of, I would say, flow which belongs to his or to her personality. But the technical aspect, this level of organization, which is how one how one stands, how one looks, how one there's an exercise as today with Anna, or you hit and then you defend yourself. All these oppositions which dilate the body, which intensify the body. This is what we are watching and studying here in this place. And what is the most extraordinary aspect of our shared experience? That what we are doing is to be going back to a sort of childhood, a sort of professional childhood, because it is as you were the first day doing something which you had never been doing before. And this is unbelievable for me outside to experience how you are learning to learn. This is the experience you are doing. And it is also unbelievable to me because most of you, when you are doing what you are doing, you know how to do. You are organic. And when you are all starting doing the most elementary thing, how to put the foot, then you you're extremely ridiculous. You can, and this is the experience. You have to remember how how to escape from what is easy and already acquired as a sort of dynamic capital of movements, of gestures, of positions, which is our spontaneity, our way of being. How to escape, and only through very hard discipline, which lasts a long time, we can reach this order, capacity of presence, of focus. The different teachers have different words. And this is, I would say, what makes group theater interesting. For me, I've seen maybe the best performances I've seen in traditional theater with actors, extraordinary traditional actors. But when it comes for the thirsting for knowledge, thirsting for knowing something new, this is the characteristic of group theater, which exploded all over the planet in the 70s. It was a generation, very strange generation appeared on this planet, where young people didn't want to do theater as it was, as a sort of cultural, artistic, important manifestation, expression. No. This generation wanted to change certain things on this planet. So they were political, but they also had another, not only Brecht, not only Dario Fo, but also Artaud, also Grotowski, as they had the feeling that our profession had a sort of spiritual balance. And this generation started inventing a new way of coming into the profession. Not like in theater schools, where very much was falsely, I would say, in an interpretation, a false interpretation of the poor Stanislavski. But they started working with training, with physical training, with a sort of kinesthetic process. Kinesthetic, it means to learn through the sensing of movement, gestures, and they started traveling. They started traveling, going in different countries, to different culture. This was the moment when Asian theater, Asian traditions were not only recognized, but they were appreciated, and one felt that we had something in common. And this what is in common is this element, this aspect of this body and mind which we have all, and which each tradition tries to shape in order to reach something which is beyond entertainment. Now, one of the most vital and long-living theater group, Teatro tascabile di Bergamo, was created in the early 70s, I think in the 70s. They are going to show you this extraordinary, really extraordinary biography, professional biography. Welcome. Welcome.
first of all want to say that what I do is not my fault. I felt in love with a place that started before me. And I saw, and I started to breathe an air, and I said, this is the air that I want to breathe. In this air, I want to grow up. And here, I will try to give you some element of how I started to go in India. But when I entered TTB, when I started to stay there, I was not sure. At the beginning, in first moment I entered that place, I started to work on katakali, because in TTB, when an actor wants to join that place, has to start to play an instrument, has to start to work on an Indian classical dance, has to work on acrobatics, and work on voice, start to find and to discover the voice, and so on. But when I arrived in Tascabile, I saw my Italian teacher, that's Rigoletti, and he was the first one that went in Kerala and started to build this bridge in between Bergamo and India. Because in Tascabile we practice 3 Indian classical dances now, but we also had period in which some actors practiced Balinese dance or Kuchipudi dance. Now we've got Bharatanatyam, Odissi, and Kathakali. And I started to do my first step in Kathakali with Rigoletti because was a teacher. In India, everybody know Beppa, they call it Beppa, and they appreciate a lot his work on certain character, female character in Kathakali. And I started with him, then some teacher and some Kathakali troupe came to Bergamo and I started to work with Indian dancer. And then I did my first travel in India, more or less at the end of the 19th century, 1999. And Beppe and Renzo Vescovi was our director. He had the idea. One day he said to my colleague, my old colleague, you have to go to India and to study Indian classical dance. And you will go in Kerala, because he saw in a big event that Eugenio and Renzo organized in Bergamo, a meeting with all group coming from all over the world and teacher coming from Asia. Renzo saw these dances and fell in love and said, my actor has to know these techniques, has to study. But he tried to create and to give and to create a field in which people, till now that Renzo is no more here, Beppe is no more here, this field allows us to go on working on these techniques. And when I go in India, someone opened the door to me. Like 20 days ago, I was in India. I went to the house of a chenda player. Chenda is a drum of the orchestra. Her wife died in this day. Her wife was there in the kitchen room, lying down. And when I arrived, it was my first day. They opened the door and he let me enter. And with me, he wanted to go to his bedroom. We sat. He took my hands and he wanted to remember when he came in Bergamo, playing and in doing katakali together. And we spent half an hour in this, for me, completely crazy situation in which that door, that house, in that moment was open and they were so friendly, as a second family. I didn't know that man because he was a friend of Beppe. Strong. A bridge in which I can walk. In 2004, we were all in Kerala to study a new story, Duryodhana Vadam, and I was there with Beppe, and Beppe could ask to a great guru, Pannapanayar Asha, to watch and to work and to give us some elements on the character we were working on. I was not ready to have a dialogue with such a kind of teacher, but I could have the opportunity. And I lived that moment with all. I tried to understand all what I could understand in that moment. But this is the difference I want to tell you with this little piece of my story. That in 2005, I had the opportunity to live this extraordinary and to join these days with this extraordinary man. We also shoot this man. And there were also in that moment Ricardo Gomez with us. Ricardo is a great friend. He belongs to our family. Our theater is a big family. And he was there because he was working on a dottorato di ricerca. And stayed with us in this class. He wrote a very interesting research on that moment. Then life and in a group, things change and many things happen. But I sometimes in these years from 2005 to 2023, I try to go back to this little piece in which the character is character of Krishna, and I could slowly, thanks to the work of Riccardo, thanks to the video camera, and thanks to the time that tascabile gave me to go on trying to understand and to work, and I don't know if to understand, to think, but to work on these elements, I could go deeply in an experience that for me was not the moment to live in that. Now Pannapanayar is no more, now Beppe is no more, but we have a video. Riccardo had the same experience, and I'm going on thinking on indication, on the character, on the energy that I had to put in some mudra. I was not able to do the mudra till now. Maybe I have a lot to do, and I'm working on it. what's really interesting in Katakali is that more or less, fantastic because even if you start, there is a place in which there is a part of the play in which you can work, even if you are the beginner. They put you in the stage, you put the customs to where the custom is very hard, and to put the customs is work also, just to stay fixed with the customs, not to collapse under the custom. Just this is the job, and they start like this. Then there is a little piece that open all the performances of Katakali, and they start to do this one, Pakuti Purapad. And then the little pieces, secondary or not important character, and you can do it. You can stay on stage, you can feel the sensation, and then slowly, slowly you go up. And more or less, they start to put attention to your work when you are 50 years old. They start to say, okay, now you are ready to do a main character. So now I wanted just to show you this little item, this Parshati Mamasaki, and to, with the help of Riccardo, to give you also some elements, because in our classes I try to give some elements of Katakali, but I want you to let you understand why it's so interesting for us as a Western actor. And still now, this is not my fault, I saw at the beginning, because Renzo decided for Beppe and TTB decided for me. But I'm doing it not because I'm stupid, you know? And why? We work so deeply and we are searching, always searching, and we don't have precise answers.
Before we start, I will explain what I will. In Katakali, each line, each sentence is repeated by the singer a lot of times, and the actor will do these words with his body, with the language gesture. And then when he finishes, changes line. So when he starts, I will say you in English all the line, and after I will say you each gesture, which word it corresponds. Of course, this will be a little confused because the grammatic of the Malayalam is so different than English. But you will be able to understand the gestures and the words, and to understand all the meaning. Okay.
Yes, so we did some exercises at the beginning. We start from the Namaskara, then exercises to strengthen the body. But what's Katakali is a way to tell story. And we have got two different ways to tell the story. Pantomime way, or the way in which the singer sang the song and the actor translate. So the pantomime are more easy to follow for a foreigner audience, and maybe they go to the audience in a stronger way. But now I want to show you this padam with these few lines, and then maybe we will go on to speak a little bit about this. Okay. Here is Draupadi on the left, and Krishna is sitting.
Parshati, my dear, don't cry. Parshati,
mama sakhi makuru devidam. Parshati mama sakhi makuru Mama Sakhi Makuru Devidam. Mama Sakhi Makuru Devidam.
you among the girls are the most precious to them. Listen. Girl. Precious stone. Him has done recklessly. But think now that it is God's plan. God. evil Dushasana's relatives in a terrible war will be brought to death. Evil! Plural! Those who are Dushasana. Terrible! War! All the living beings will be witnesses. All. Will be. God is the unique and indestructible. Know that. God. One. Destroy. No. You. You are beautiful like a precious stone. Will have what you desire.
Kamidam Kamini
Precious stone. Let time flow, and time, and you will see. Flow.
The context. When I entered the class with Pannappa Nair, he was thinking that my body was ready to listen his word. Beppe's body was ready. I was working. I'm still working. And we did a sit-in class, and he decided the mudras. And this is a very beautiful heritage that I have and I want to preserve, because this is the way Pannappa Nair thinking. On these items, he decided to give to us these few lines that can be interpreted in different ways. Maybe this is the music. When we don't have live music, we have to follow, unfortunately, the music. This is very bad and cut a part of freedom that we have, that is the dialogue with the drummer. We have certain signals to give to the drummer to understand. Now I want to finish. I want to give this. I want to do this kalasha. You know, you saw after the line, after the few words, there is one line that goes nothing, and we just have to try to enter with the expression and the bhava, the feeling that we have inside, the actor has inside, to enter in the atmosphere of the line, and the singer go. Then we start to express word by word with the use of mudra, each word sung by the singer. Each word, we have a main atmosphere, but then in each word we can bring with him, with the meaning of the word, his own expression, Navarasa, we call it. As I told you, who did the class, in Kathakali is really interesting because they divide. They had 500 years, but we can say, because we have got a grandfather We were, Eugenio, in Venugi house, and we have got a book for you from Venugi.
To them, speak
Yes.
to them, because
We have a book. Venugi is the greatest intellectual performer, actor of Kutiatam. Kutiatam is our grandfather. Kutiatam is something so pure, so clean, puro is right, so pure, that when you watch it, when you see it, you can fall asleep, you can lose, be confused. Katakali is more for the audience. Kutiatam is stay in a double word. Okay, we were there. I don't know why I spoke of this. Maybe I'm going out of the time, Giulia. Yes. Mezzogiorno, quindi. It's right. Yes. and were there because Venugi wrote a book with 1,500 words that he met in his experience. It is a book of the life, as he says, and he tried to write and to give to a book an experience that can be really given only by the work. But it is really important. If you work and you have got that book, I think that he did really a great present for who wants to go on in this field. Yes, but so what I wanted to tell you is that we are a group, a theater group. We are Western actors, but our director and my older colleague decided to work with this Indian culture, and this influenced also our job. And now, if Caterina is ready, we want to show just one of the other techniques that we have in theater, and we do and we learn and we do for everything the same work. But is an instrument. It's really easy to use this instrument and to have the attention of the audience. But what we try to do is not only to use this first level of this very interesting instrument, and we create our alphabet of exercises, our way to control the weight, our way to walk. And we also created and tried to translate the movements of the valse step in this with this instrument that is not the same, absolutely not the same. But we try to understand that beautiful sensation that you have when you feel and when you see the dancer on the floor, and trying to translate it in this new level, with this new shape, with this new energy going. And I can say that we used many elements coming from our experience in Indian classical dance, because we started to divide and to go slowly to the first, la cellula, the cell, and then put the cell to the cell. And now, if someone call us and say, we will give you 5,000 euros for a new choreography on this music, when? Tomorrow, okay. We can do it. We can do it. Because we created and we have got something that we can also give to younger students that come to us, to join with us, to breathe our air, the same air that I wanted to breathe 26 years ago, 27 years ago. I don't know if it's still the same, but I'm trying to do the best. Pollution comes also with us. So now my senior colleague, not senior, we go on.
I like to start with the stilt because this was my first object in theater. When I started to work in Teatro tascabile, I had to replace an actress that was waiting a baby. So I have to learn to go on stilt very quickly because we had a performance, and in 3 months I had to learn. And it was a very difficult performance because the oldest actress was very good, and for me was a big skill. But it seems that my leg with the stilt were friends. So it was not so difficult. I did it. Then, you know, Renzo was used to say that the beginners, the pupils, has the beauty of the monkey, as this kind of freshness that in the beginning you can use, but after 2-3 months, this goes. And so you have to find something else to keep alive your body. So it was good because I prepared myself in 3 months and I reached that skill. But then it started, the work. I understood that my body hasn't strength. It was too light. All the time Renzo was telling me, you have no weight. You are transparent. What I can do, I am thin, I cannot become more fat. It's not a problem of thin or fat. Your body has no weight. You have to stay more down. Your eyes has no look. You see, but you don't look anything. You have no the sharpness in your look. So you disappear. in front of the public. But it's so difficult in the beginning to understand this. So, after stilt, my second discipline in Teatro tascabile was the Indian dance, Bharatanatyam. So I start to beat the feet. Te, ya, te, I, 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 te, ya, te, di, te, di, te, di, te, di, te, 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 di, te, 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 di, te, 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 di, te, 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 di, te, taki, 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 ta, te, te, ta, te, te, ta, di, te, ta, te, 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 ta, di, te, ta, te, te, ta, te, te, ta, te, te, ta, di, te. And so, every day, many hours, but also the teacher told me, you cannot start to dance without greeting the floor, that you are beating with your feet. So, before starting the class, we make a salutation. We ask pardon to the floor that we are beating him, and then we pray to the God, to the Guru, and to the public. Only after these two salutations, you can start to work, and you touch always the floor. One of the first songs that my teacher taught me was this, a song in honor of Shiva, the god of the construction and destruction. Angikam, your body, Bhuvana is the whole universe. Yes, yeah, isn't it? Vachikam, your words are the sound of the universe. Sarvavang Maya, your jewels, Aharyam, are the moon, Chandra, stars, Taradi, Tuam, to you, Satvikam, that you are pure, O Shiva, O Shiva, O Shiva, I pray. What Bharatanatyam was teaching me that my body can be an orchestra. With my leg, I can take the rhythm of the dance, and with my upper part and with my hands, I can tell a story. But to tell a story with the hands, it's important to know how to use the hands. So I learned the mudras. Pataka, Tripataka, Ardhapataka, Kartarimukaha, Mayura, Ardhachandra, Arala, Shukatunda, Mushti, Shikara, Kapita, Katakamuka, Katakamuka, Katakamukaha, Suchi, Chandrakala, Padmagosa, Sarpasirsha, Mrigasirsha, Sinhamuka, Kangula, Alapadma, Chatura, Brahmara, Amsasya, Ansapaksha, Samdam so mukula tamrachula trishula kaha. With these words, you can tell a story. And you can tell the story with the upper part, and you can put the rhythm in the other part. I can tell the story. You are so brilliant. I want to come to you. Please, show me your face. You are everywhere. And the sound of your flute is so nice to my ear. But I can also say, with the legs, give the rhythm, and with the upper part, tell the story. Te, te, takadimi, te, te, takadimi, 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 takita, 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 te, te, di, te. This kind of training is very important. It teaches me how to be more strong and more heavy, and to stay on the floor much more. So I am very grateful to the Indian dance, because it was really my way to understand my body and all the possibility of the body. Every little limb of your body is decided by the Indian dance. I can also use my eyes. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh? I can control each limb, each part of my body. And also, it's very interesting. Bharatanatyam is very clever. He designed line in the space, lateral, down. While you look down, then you take your attention up, and then again side, and then center. All the time is surrounding you in the position, in the line, in the direction. Te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta. Double speed. Te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta. Ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta. Third speed. Te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta, te, yum, ta, ta, te, yum, ta. So, you learn little steps very clearly, and then you increase the speed. Also this, the only things, you cannot do this in different energy. There is one kind of energy, that is the strong one. Especially in the pure dance, where you are not telling anything, but you are only joking with the rhythm. So it happens after some years that I was in theater, that I don't know really why, but our director decided to take the youngest students in theater and decided to go to Spain for a travel. He had to spend time outside from the theater. Something was happening there with the senior actor, so he decided to leave. So I was one of the new pupils, and I started with Renzo and other three. We went to Barcelona, then we went to Valencia, then we went in Almeria, and then in the end we reached Sevilla. in this long trip, 2 months trip. Renzo, I had the luck to be with the director of the theater, with me, teaching me like a son, like a daughter, because in theater it was very difficult to have Renzo for you, because he has to share with everybody his knowledge. So it was really, really a big opportunity for all of us to learn some money to live there 2 months, because we didn't have a house, we didn't have a place where to stay. We decided to improvise a little performance, kind of conference where he shows something together with the students. He was telling about the history of theater, and we were doing little things, little dance, little performance on stills, playing something, and this make us growing up more and more. That was the first time that we saw flamenco, and Renzo asked us to start to learn flamenco. I didn't know why I was not so fascinated on flamenco, because I was doing Bharatanatyam, so I was already full of love for this dance. But I started and I met with a world completely different from the Indian dance. The profane part of this kind of work. There nobody was telling you what to do and how to do. Only they were doing the things and asking you to repeat without explaining anything. It was very difficult, but it was the only way. In the other things, they were not very happy to teach you, because once upon a time, the people that was not gypsy, was not gitano, they were pious, was not well see from the teachers. But we insist with them, and at the end, we could learn something. So I learned in this year some item, I learned some technique, something I share also with some of you. In these days, only a group, I think, didn't work with me, but I can show you now something. What do you think, Eugenio? Can you show something? Flamenco?
Up to you.
I'm free to do everything. Okay.
Remember, the theme of this ISTA is the expressivity, composition, vocabulary. So you are speaking out of your experience about these different phases.
Yes. Now, so I speak with flamenco. So. flamenco, 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 flamenco. Somebody says that the flamenco, that the first gypsy left India about 1000, and they make a very long journey crossing Europe till Africa and reaching in Sevilla. And during this long journey, they put shoes. But they start without shoes. And they keep from India the rhythm of the feet. But from Africa, they took the grace of the movement of the waist, the grace of the arms. And in songs of the singers, flamenco, you can find some of African sound, the heel, the way to start with the very long notes and very this kind of sound come from India, come from Africa, and flamenco introduced in these songs. Flamenco use especially the footwork. It is much more strong in the men, but nowadays also women are very strong with their footwork. It's basically it's very easy because they use all the possibility you have in the foot, and they compose in so many possibility the sound. But in flamenco is not so much codified like in Indian dance. You have to learn this kind of mixing of sound, learning different kind of dance. So you can learn the beat, the golpe, learn planta, tacón. You can learn can walk with the and you can cross all this sound together. hacia dentro, if the dance is more dark dance, much more sad, like Soleá, Taranto, Seguidilla, or hacia afuera, if the dance is much more happy, and you need to open your body. You learn to use the hand. Hacia afuera, hacia adentro, 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 hacia afuera, hacia adentro. And then find your way to move the hands. Because these are not hastas, are not mudra. You can have your personality in moving the hands. This is a pure dance. You are not telling something special. Nobody is telling you which kind of emotion you have to express with flamenco. But you find it through the letras of the songs. The letras could be very sad, speaking of death, or can be very happy and joyous. And you can have some object. You can use the sombrero, the cordobés, you can use abanico and manton. This cordobés we use in a dance that is called garrotin or tanguillo de Cádiz that I showed you yesterday. You, with the cordobés, you can simply dance with it, or you can move in the space, for example, like this. Never show this part to the public. Try to not show the inside part. And also the skirt is very important. To take the skirt, you take the knees up. And then you can also do very gypsy things, for example, to do like this. This kind of movement, huh? Or we can use manton. Manton we use normally in Soleá. abanico. Everybody knows how to move the abanico. And maybe I can finish with a little dance with abanico for you. Okay?
I have a question. When you, for the first time, went to learn flamenco, was it a school, a theater school, or was a private teacher?
Was a private teacher.
It was a private teacher.
Yes. A little school, a kind of room.
And then the teacher explained, what was the first thing the teacher taught you?
He taught me, he was with a stick,
Yeah.
and he was beating the rhythm. Normally when you start to learn with the ritmo de alegría, that is in
You go in
12,
the center so they can
yes,
hear. Yeah.
that is in 12 beat. So this is the rhythm that where you start to learn.
And can you remember this rhythm?
Yes,
Can I hear it?
they do with the, what they call marcaje. That is the way to
To mark.
yes, to mark
The
the
rhythm,
step.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
No,
4,
no,
5, 6.
no. She's marking. She was sitting
No, he was standing.
and she was beating on
Yes. He was giving the beat like this,
with the hands. Fine.
with the stick,
Yeah.
with the stick on the floor,
With,
The stick.
yeah.
with the stick on the floor.
On the floor.
Yes.
But and she
He,
was a woman,
no, was a man.
a man. The man, was he showing you the steps?
He had a repetitor, how would they call it, una repetidora. They normally, the teacher didn't show you. They have somebody, some students,
Yeah.
maybe with
Yeah,
2,
okay,
3
but
years more than
somebody-
you. Somebody's
So the
was showing.
teacher asked somebody present. So
Yes.
there was somebody else, no? You
Yes,
were not alone with
yes,
the teacher.
no. Also, we can say the best of the school, of the pupil, is doing the steps instead of him.
I see. And then one of them, how did she show it?
She was showing like this. She was in front, I was behind, and she started. Before with palmas.
Yeah.
1,
But
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
she
9,
told you,
10.
or she said, imitate me.
Yes,
Follow
imitate
me.
me,
She
follow
said, follow.
me, follow me.
Yeah. And then she started.
She started with this work. And then I followed her. She was in the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
No, just a
9,
second, sorry.
10.
So she was not seeing you, because if you
No.
were behind her,
They're not interested in what you do.
what?
They're not much interested.
And this is what I want to
So,
know.
so
This is what I
if
want
you
to
can
know.
catch, it's a
I
good
mean,
thing.
Yes.
If
So
you
they
don't
are
catch,
okay, they are not interested in what you are doing, they are only interested in your money. That's fine. This is a very good motivation for me. But, and then she was doing, and then you were imitating.
yes.
And then one thing I don't understand, because when you are explaining,
Yes.
you are doing, you have a certain level. How did you reach this level? By
In ma-
yourself?
In
With
many,
talent?
in many years with different teachers, because also this, for example, in the Indian dance, normally you start with a teacher and you follow one teacher. It's very difficult that you change because it's a kind of marriage, no, with the guru. In the flamenco, it's different. I change a lot of teacher, and I try to catch something from each one, because each one can give you some very clever idea how to move the feet. Somebody can give you some idea how to move better the arms, but it's very difficult to find one teacher that give you all this information together. So you catch something from one, something from the other one. For example, I did one class with one teacher, one woman, and the only things that I learned from her that is that you have to enter with the planta in the floor, no? But this was very important for me. This changed a lot my kind of dance. Nobody was telling me before this, but this is very important. This is very important. Where to put the weight is very important. And also somebody one day told me, you don't have to stay front with the chest. The chest is always 3/4, the head is in front. But the chest is 3/4 after 7, 8 years. Somebody told me this. Of course, you can imitate if you are very clever, you do for imitation, but I'm not all year in Sevilla, so it's not so.
So the general, let's say, the general habit is one learns by imitation, and then the different teachers sometimes come with a sort of advice.
Yes, exactly. And you have to be clever to understand what is the important point.
Exactly.
But we are actors, so if somebody tell me this is how you have to enter in the floor, this for me is very clear.
Yeah.
This for me is we say in TTB, un compito, a task. This is a task for me, no? For I understand. If somebody tell me this is 3/4 and this is front, this is clear for me.
Well, and the last thing, you said in the beginning that you were indifferent to flamenco.
Yeah.
Okay, you
No,
just...
I was not indifferent. I was ashamed more than indifferent because I saw the performance. They were so nice, so tall, so black, so everything. No, I was thinking that the flamenco dancer has to be like this. No, so I was tall. I'm tall. No, I was not very tall. I'm still not very tall. I'm not so big chest like. You have to show like this, not black hair. So I feel like I was something not.
You were timid.
Yes. Yeah. So I saw the first video that I sometimes say I had a white skirt with like a baby like this with the black skirt. I was terrible, really.
And your bourgeois personality did change after learning flamenco?
Yes.
So you became more secure of you or what?
Yes, more secure.
Okay.
Yes. Because also I understood that it's not a problem how much you are old, tall, fat, thin, because Antonio Gades, one of the biggest dancers, he said flamenco is a dance for everybody. You don't have to be perfect in the body, perfect in the, but you have to put all this energy in your feet. So this start to change me also.
Because it's really what I tried to tell before also with the relationship with this big guru is that you start and they can give you a first level of knowledge and you can start creating the body. Then slowly you are able to understand new elements that increase the density of the dance. This is really interesting. If you go on here by here, and what I was telling you before, I had the opportunity to have indication from a very, very generous and great guru, and I was not able to understand. During life, you can reach and have the sensibility to see something more to put and to take. And what happened with this experience that I had 20 years ago is that I started to slowly watch the video of what I did, and in the video of what I did, I worked deeply on this structure that is more or less easy. In 1 month you can learn Parshati Mamasaki, but Parshati Mamasaki in one life can grow up, and it is very, very also popular song, and people come to listen the words and also to see your dance, but so difficult to say.
The last things that I want to say is that all the time that I start with the technique, new technique, and I go deep in the technique, is because, like actress, I need to build a jail. If I don't have a jail, I cannot work. When I'm free to do everything, I cannot do anything. If I make a jail with many things, I feel more free. So build your jail where to move freely. Thank you.
Blankets and food. Monica, I have told them about blankets and food.